Now, this person right here, I've never done a video on, but since she wants to take it there, I'm going to go there with her. This woman's name is Rachel Campos-Duffy, and I'm going to give her a nickname already, Cake Face. Look at all that makeup she got caked up on her face. You can tell she got a lot of makeup on to try to hide them insecurities. But this woman, of course, she works for Fox News. And she and her co-host were covering a story about the mall shooting that happened in Texas. I didn't get a chance to get around to talking about it, but there was a mass mall shooting that happened in, I believe it was Allen, Texas, recently. Then they know who the person is. I think they got him, or like I said, I don't know the entire story behind it. It may be in this article. But this woman actually sat up there on Fox News and blamed weed and fatherlessness as to why the shooter did what they did. But guess what? Plot twist. Well, first off, before I get to the plot twist, we know when they talk about weed and fatherless homes and stuff like that, they're talking about black people, especially black men, because that's who they attribute it to. But here's the plot twist. The shooter was not black. I believe the shooter was a white Hispanic, aka somebody who will fall into the category she probably classifies herself as. So Rachel, the person who did this based on her last name before it gets hyphenated, Campos, that's your people that did that. So I'm guessing you're putting upon fatherlessness and weed onto your people, if I'm correct. Fox News host Rachel Campos-Duffy suggested marijuana and fatherlessness were to blame for a deadly mall shooting in Texas. During an interview about the shooting in Allen, Republican congressional candidate Dr. Trey Penny called for strengthening background checks for gun purchases. I know we're giving a lot of credence to our Second Amendment laws, and I'm a Second Amendment pro-gun right guy. But I will tell you, we cannot allow criminals to be running around here with guns, with body armor, and not know who they are, Penny said. I think it's time that we start looking at mental health laws, start looking at gun protection laws. We got to do what we got to do to make sure that the right people have the guns. You know, Trey, I totally agree, Campos-Duffy replied. I think everything needs to be on the table. The Fox News host complained that Christian students had been shot in Nashville, but the so-called manifesto had not been released in that case. I think we ought to look at the issue of fatherlessness. We also ought to look at weed, she continued. We know that cannabis increases psychosis by 5 times, so I think everything should be on the table, including what you say, maybe improving background checks. But thank God there was a guy with a gun there to take this guy down. Now, it's crazy she says that. When she said, I think everything should be on the table, including what you say. Let's put on the table what you just said, Rachel, because you automatically assume that this person was black just with you saying fatherlessness and weed. We know what that's code speak for, and well, more so who towards it is. Now, this Penny guy that I mentioned in the article is a black man. So when she was talking to him, she was talking to a black man. So I'm guessing she's assuming because this guy has a seat and he was the person they put out there to speak about this in front of her and her co-host, that apparently whoever did it had to be black. She couldn't be more wrong. And to further add on to the insult and injury of what she said, the person who committed this mass shooting was not only were they not black, but they came home. They are from a 2-parent household, which means mother and father. But since she wants to talk about fatherlessness, the person who did this had their father in their life. So that's 2 strikes against her. Now they need to look and see, did this person do or indulge in marijuana? Because if not, 3 strikes, you're out. But the fact of the matter is when she said marijuana and fatherlessness, and that didn't, and at least the fatherlessness didn't apply to the person, and the person wasn't black who committed the shooting, because again, dog whistle language, she literally had to try to make this seem like it was a black person that did it. But the crazy part about it is it's public knowledge that this person who committed the shooting wasn't black. And see, there was just a shooting that happened in Atlanta, but that was with another person. Now, that person was black. I believe the name was Deion Patterson. I don't know if she got her stories mixed up or whatever, but in this case, what she was talking about right here, it did not apply. But she tried to apply it anyway. Them was your people, Rachel. Them was your people that you was talking about with the fatherlessness and the marijuana that you claim had to be a contributing factor as to why they did what they did. Again, this is that so-called black and brown coalition that they keep trying to say we should be on, that type of time, and that's the kind of spectrum we should be on, but it ain't there. It's never been there and never will be.